We've got another batch of LEGO sets coming out soon, and I went through everything I could find to pull the ones that stand out for adults. I'm also including a few that are unofficially for us and some that are worth keeping in mind for gifts. Now, this is not an official list and are just my thoughts after hours of research, so let's go through what's worth buying, what to wait on, and what you can probably skip for now. Okay, LEGO helmets have been around for years. We've seen it in basically every franchise, but this is the first one we're getting from Lord of the Rings. And if we were to get anything from that series, this would be the one to get. Looking at the side-by-side, they did a pretty good job converting this into LEGO form, and I recognized it immediately, which is always a plus. And including a Sauron minifigure sweetens the deal. It's definitely a fan favorite. If you're a Lord of the Rings fan and want something to display on your shelf, I would mark this as a buy. I've gotten a bit burnt out on the helmets myself, but I wouldn't mind getting this as a gift, and you know, this makes me want to watch the movies yet again. After many decades, Pokemon has finally arrived in the world of LEGO, and as a longtime fan myself, I'm pretty stoked about this. But I'm also a bit disappointed with one of the additions to the lineup, and trust me, we'll get to that in a minute. But this Eevee model is excellent. Easily one of the more popular characters, they needed to get this right, and I think they did. It's got a lot of charm, and the look and feel is fairly spot on. Out of all of the ones being released, this one is an easy buy given its price point and solid design. I can see this one selling a ton. The movie Project Hail Mary comes out very soon, which I'm very much looking forward to seeing, and what a perfect time to release a display set. The tiny display scene that we get here is pretty cool, and the interactivity is a nice touch that I was not expecting at all. It's a little pricey for what it is, so I would say to maybe wait until the hype settles down with the movie a bit. Maybe see the movie first and then go from there. I mean, there's nothing worse than getting hyped and then being disappointed after you've already built something. Now, if you're ready to feel old, this is kind of hard to believe, but it's the 20th anniversary of LEGO Batman this year. We also have a new LEGO Batman game coming out in May, which is looking good, and as a huge Batman fan, I'm pretty pumped. As a few of you know, I kind of have a problem with collecting LEGO Batmobiles, and I was pleasantly surprised to get early access to these. They're nothing complicated, and they're like unofficially for adults, I guess you could say, but they're still satisfying to put together and display. Each one has a 20th anniversary LEGO coin hidden inside the build, and you can also get a code to unlock an in-game Batmobile, along with a golden color variant in the game. The Batmobiles are pretty cool, and the Affleck and Pattinson versions are nice upgrades from what we've had before, but I think it's safe to wait on these for a bit. They're not the most iconic Batmobile designs in general, so it's something I would have waited on to pick up myself, and I would have passed on the Batman and Robin one. This Batman logo build was way better than I expected. It has a bunch of small details built into it that reference villains and the Batman himself. And just like the others, it also includes a 20-year anniversary LEGO coin and a golden anniversary Batman minifigure. Finally, my dreams have come true. Commemorating one of the best Formula One racers of all time, we've got this tribute to Michael Schumacher from his dominating 2004 season. Even though it's missing some sponsors from back in the day, they captured the look very well for the scale. It's pricey for what we get, and it's not completely accurate to the original, so this ends up in the weight tier for me. We've got a couple of botanicals in this batch, and the magnolia branches look great. Very different from anything we've seen in the lineup. I'm not sure how well they would mix with other botanicals, but maybe they will. The sunflowers also look good, but I don't know if it's something fans would be rushing to pick up, but I could be wrong. Okay, now check this out. We have another LEGO cat, but this time it's orange. And there is not much to say, it's literally another color of a set we've already had. If you have the original Tuxedo Cat, then you know what to expect, and as a real cat owner myself, I am sad to say that I have to mark this as a pass. For under $100, fans of Lord of the Rings, Pokemon, Batman, and botanicals all have something worth picking up without any regrets. Otherwise, there are a few things to keep on your radar if you're itching to build something. Okay, before we hit the heavy hitters, one of which I have a lot of thoughts on, let's look at some gift ideas to keep in mind throughout the year. We're getting a bunch of Star Wars sets, but they're very different from what we've seen before. I'm sure a lot of you have seen this, but LEGO is introducing a new feature called Smart Play. We're getting these new smart bricks that communicate with other parts of the set to produce lights and sounds. I'm putting these in the gift section because they're meant for younger builders to run around and interact with, which is why the designs look simpler than what we're used to. But still, keep these in mind as gifts. I mean, I would have gone crazy for these when I was younger, though they are kind of pricey given the technology, so keep that in mind. Okay, moving on, we've got a new LEGO City train in 2026 with this police train heist. The scenes look interesting enough, and it appears to include everything that you need, including the remote, which isn't always the case with the LEGO trains. That's most likely why the price is on the higher side, but this would make for one heck of a Christmas gift. I got a LEGO train for Christmas a very long time ago, and that memory still sticks with me to this day. Next up, we have a Ninjago mech with a pretty decent design. I wouldn't say it's the best out there, but I still appreciate some of the elements and wanted to call it out. It could make a solid gift for the right fan. And if you have a FIFA fan in the family, the soccer ball was actually interesting. I glanced past it at first, but then was pretty impressed when I dove in and saw the hidden scene inside. That's actually kind of cool. And we also have a FIFA trophy with a hidden compartment on top. You know, both are expensive for what they are, and I am not an expert here, but whoever you're buying this for probably has to be a diehard fan. Okay, now we're moving on to the $100 to $200 range for adults, starting with the final battle scene from The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Spoiler alert if you haven't played this game in the last 30 years. The large Ganon figure looks pretty great. These are hard to design typically. They can look off very easily. And the minifigures and accessories are excellent. I do have to say that I'm a bit underwhelmed with the rest of the scene though. It feels rather bland. And I know this is from the Nintendo 64 era and probably what it looked like in the game. I was ready to call this a day one buy as a huge Zelda fan, but I'm gonna bump it down to a wait. It does feel like it could have been more, maybe with like a larger castle set piece. To be honest, this kind of feels like a tease. Sticking with the video game theme, we're back to Pokemon, and of course you can't have Pokemon without Pikachu. We've got a display set from the star itself, and to be honest, it's a mixed bag. Like, I feel weird about this. I'm excited and disappointed at the same time. I think I need to see this in person to judge it fully, but from some angles, Pikachu looks totally off. And there's something wrong with the Pokeball as well. I mean, it's not round. Somehow, someway, it's lost its shape in translation. The price, it's not too bad, but I would still wait for the hype to settle down before deciding. I was planning on picking this up for the channel, but I think I'm gonna hold off. Moving on, we have a sea otter diorama. At first glance, it just didn't sit right with me, but looking closer, I can see that they were going for more of a realistic take, and it can be displayed with a baby otter or with it like eating some food. It's not for me personally, and I can't recommend it at $120, but I can see it appealing to a niche audience that's looking for a relaxing display piece, or if you just really love otters. I'm not going to judge you, that's cool. It's also amazing that we're celebrating the 100th anniversary of a character that many of us grew up with. Like Pikachu though, the design doesn't fully land from certain angles. It looks okay from the front, but if you tilt it a bit, it's just simply off. The hidden Easter eggs are nice, but I don't know if they're enough to push it into like a must-have territory. $150 is a lot to ask for when the design isn't completely spot on, but I will say that the minifigures are solid. And if you want to talk about niche, it doesn't get much more than that than a Ford Model T. I mean, conceptually and historically speaking, this is cool, and I think automotive history buffs have something interesting here. I do have to say that the white tires and fabric convertible roof are pretty awesome. I am going to say to wait on this. I mean, it's close to buy territory. It could make a nice gift or decoration for someone into antiques. In this price range, I can't mark anything as a must-buy day one pick. Usually something stands out, but this time I would say just to keep them on your radar unless you really want something to build and can't find anything else. Okay, now moving on to sets that are above $200, we are getting another Formula One car in 2026, and this time it's from McLaren. Being from the Technic series, it's a mechanical build. tough on your fingers and very sticker heavy. Now, if you're an F1 fan like I am, these do display well and are fun despite the imperfections. Unless you're a huge McLaren fan, you can probably wait this one out. It does make for a great project, and otherwise it's an easy pass if you're not into this stuff. We're also getting a famous Claude Monet art piece in this range. I am no art expert, but the colors look a little too vibrant to me when I look at the side-by-side, which is definitely a LEGO limitation, but I mean, this still looks pretty amazing. But I will say, when you zoom into it, the techniques look very tedious and like it's going to be rough on the fingers. It does look very large, and I'm sure is very satisfying to put together, and I'm sure some of you will enjoy it. But at $250, I just can't recommend it. I think the price is too steep for what it is. Okay, this next set is pretty crazy, but in a good way. We have 3 legendary evolved Pokemon from the original game in one massive display nearing 7,000 pieces. And that's pretty insane. It used to be rare for us to see sets over 4,000 pieces. Not only do the Pokemon look excellent, but the terrains have a good amount of variety and detail. The $650 price tag is a lot to take in. But that did not stop pre-orders from selling out quickly, and it even took LEGO's site down when it was announced, which is rare. I don't think I've ever seen that for an announcement. It's most likely going to stay popular, and for that reason alone, I would lean towards buying it if you truly want it, since it may be hard to find later. I also would have liked to see this broken up into a few different sets, so I totally hear you. But in this round of sets for 2026, we've got something for fans from a variety of franchises. I would say that the first batch was a bit stronger, so if you would like to see if there's anything that you missed earlier in the year, check out this video here. Otherwise, I've got more LEGO stuff for adults on the channel. Thank you for checking out these sets with me, as always, and until next time, I'll catch you in the next one.